Hey everybody, my name's Randy Wittes and it's my shop and that's the Chevelle. Let's get a side view. Good side view because it's really cool. And it looks a lot different than what you're gonna see in just a minute. Ready, set, go. No. Whoopsie. Gonna hurt. So anyway, back to what we're doing, and these videos have kind of been running together, snowballing. Anyway, last video I put up, that's 114, that was fitting rear body panels. We haven't done the roof, we're not done up there. We've got this one welded back in, another new panel. Our bracket welded in, so now we're solid. New brackets here. Had to do a little tweak in, get them to fit, but they fit nice now. Quarters are not welded in. What I want to do, and this is in the bumper, we were working on the bumper, but I've gone over to this mess. This mess is the deck lid. Oh boy. So originally the hinges from the deck lid were going to be mounted to underneath of here because I had to move my tubs way over. Well, I noticed lifting the deck lid put a lot of torque on that back panel. So we're not going to do that. We're going to fix it. And I don't remember, and I'm looking, it may, factory wise, it's been years ago, I don't remember, that this did attach to that rear body panel, but of course the bracket came down and then attached to the inner wheel well. So that took a lot of that torque away. So can we do that now? I don't know. I have seen where they just built some bracketry. Wow. From each wheel well, and then created hinges off of that. Can I do that? I'm sure I can do that. You just have to remember how they did it. Anyway. Wow, that would go way up into here, but not that far back. The pivot point is actually, it's way back there. And I may have to put it back up on the lift just so I can get to it, attach it, and then see how it fits. So up in here, it would be up in this area. I'd have to come off of this, straight up. We can brace it. Brace it from side to side. Let me do some research. I'll be back. All right, so I've been doing some research, finding nothing. I had some pictures of what somebody custom did, but I deleted them, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, was looking on here for where it was mounted, and I forgot they were mounted out here. I believe there's a bracket here, this welded to that, then it welded to your tub. That is my dilemma because my hinges have to be here. Now, what can I do? Well, I can do, I'm thinking, I can do this, because this isn't welded in yet, so I can remove it. We need to be in this area. So basically, I can come off of here, have my bracket in this area here, and then attach here. And that should be stable, I would think. I'd like to be able to get a set of hinges and kind of modify them. But that's okay. We can make a bracket, you know. We made the tubs, you know. Made this back floor panel. What else did we make? Shoot, I don't even remember. Oh, the inner tubs. Yeah, whatever. We can do it. Okay, so let's go with that plan. A bracket out and then back in. And then a swing off of that. Oh boy. 6, whatever. It opens that way, so it won't get any longer this way. We've got 9 inches of clearance to right in this area, so we got 9 inches clearance roughly to there. It's gonna be fun. Alrighty, so we have our parts ground off, cleaned up, ready to figure out how to make a bracket. So I've got a little piece of cardboard. My thinking is to cut along here somewhere, kind of like so. Kind of like just keep this little edge because that's the stop, so you don't lift it up too far. You know, when you open the deck lid, it's a stop. You know. So let's see, something like that. And I cut this off and flatten this area out, so that will attach and kind of fill this in right here. As you can see, this isn't flat. Originally I thought just, well, I was thinking attach it to that, right there, which I could do, I guess, kind of like that. Attach it up there. It eliminates messing with that. What's that do on that side? If I attach it up there, right here at the pivot, so I'd have to attach it. Why don't I put the camera down so So I have both hands. All right, well, I've got a start of a template. So I'm going to trace that out. Oh boy. Here. You know, it's hard to get the geometry. You know, okay, that's the deck lid. Right here, but I don't know. Like I said, I think it's going to be like right about there. This is going to be fun, boys and girls, because I've got to make it to fit, bolt it on the deck lid, put the deck lid in place, let this hang, and then go up underneath and attach it. So yeah, I gotta figure, you know, this bend, how far over that goes, just by it hanging here somehow. It's kind of what I had to do with making these hinges the first time. It's just a big old guess. A guess. So, all right, be back. All right, moving right along with the old template. Had to cut this little lump out on this one, so this would sit flat, and I've got an idea. Other than just using tape, I'm gonna put a drill that hole. I'm gonna do that. Voila. Drill another hole there. And it's not as solid as, you know, sheet metal, obviously, because you can see the hole got messed up there, but it helps me put it back in the same spot. I don't know why that got all crooked, but anyway, so that helps hold that, and I can take it on and off, put it back in the same spot, kind of close. I've got my lines, so that helps too. The idea is I'm going to put this on the trunk, put the trunk in, line everything up because I've got my old tape, and I've got all this back here. that I can line the trunk up and see where that falls. I'll crawl underneath and look, may have to, but I've also got that open where I get an idea so I can see, okay, is this gonna work? Where do I need to cut this piece, or where do I need to just bend it so then I can weld it on? So let's get busy. Okay, well, bolted the hinge on, set our deck lid, kind of. Can't set it that way. Maybe I can, because that's basically this depth here. So set that. Well, just line the tape up. Should be fine. Tape's lined up. Yep, good. This one will be tight, I'm sure. No, hey, all right. We're batting 1,000. So, in saying that, now what? I gotta make sure I get this pitch correct. I think if I just do something like that, will at least be in the ballpark, don't you think? There. Okay. Well, lock that down a little better. Lock her down with the old taper. The blue taper, that's good, that'll work. Everything's in the ballpark, we hope. So all I'm doing is I'm looking down in there, seeing how much room do I have to deal with. I'm gonna guesstimate about an inch off of what I've got. So it's the best way to deal with that. Well, we've got our Clecos, we got our tape. So let's remove that. And we're going to give this just a bend, because like I said, I don't know exactly where to Well, I could have measured it, you think? You think that would have been a good idea? I'm thinking roughly it's an inch. I'm going to mark the inch. Somehow with this little tool, I'm going to mark an inch. And then bend it. Okay, so I need to bend that down. Let's go put that back in. And worst case scenario, we angle it a little bit, you know what I mean? Like so. But let's see where it is. Worry about that in a second. Well, needed to bend that a little bit farther, and we can't angle it down anymore because we're already right there in the frame. So once we are close, let's try measuring it this time. Yeah. Measuring is easier said than done, but anyway, so we're at 2.5. 2.5. Well, we were only off 3/8 of an inch. I mean, come on. Bend it again. Try it again. Pretty sure I'm gonna have to cut this one off, or you know, make this smaller, because we're right there at the frame rail. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. I do have to cut this corner off. The ideal way would be to have that bottom at a little bit of an angle, I think. But I'm really not going to worry about that right now. If structure-wise, I don't like how it looks, I can just put a little piece of angle, little corner gusset right here, and that will keep that from flexing, I'm sure. Or I could put it inside, one or the other. But we also gotta try to make this little decorative, you know? Punch some holes in it or something. You know what I mean? So, it's kinda... Alright, well, we have to come up with we're good. Gotta check that because things move. We gotta come up with, and see this here? I need to bring this up. I'll show you why. See what happens? Moves that a lot just by doing that. Alright, I'm gonna think about the top. I'll be back. Measuring real quick. Yep, seems to be square. That's good. Always helps when it's square. Okay, there's that little piece. You don't believe how long it took me to cut that. Figure out what I wanted to do. Alright, so I'm gonna go from this corner, I think. That corner to there. Right there. And yeah. Okay, getting that was more work than you think when you're getting old. Alright. Yeah, I had to crawl under the car, reach up inside. Alright, so the idea is to I have to set you down. Yeah, you can see. The idea is to basically cut this out. That way. Go that way. Yes, no. Look at that. Yeah. All right. Sure what happened there, so we're gonna do that and see how that ends up. That's what happened. There we go. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Thought of that, but it didn't. So to fix that there, And take a little bit out of that. Okay. Okay. Keep moving. Okay, it's a piece of cardboard, so it's flexing. My steel over there is not going to. I'm seeing an issue right now that I'm not liking. Not that it matters, I guess. But you see what I'm seeing. Well, see, that's throwing me off. Yeah. Here, let's do that. There, now it's perfect. Okay. Now what? Thought is now that we have this part, see where that comes in. I mean, it's right on top of that. May have to cut that off because otherwise I've got to bend that right there. Don't want to bend it. Thought was cut it off, go straight down. Gonna have to cut it at a triangle shape and then bring a little tab over like we did down here. Like I said, I may have to, because of where this is, or not, maybe not. Well, we gotta. Alright, well, I'm going to think about that a little bit. That one right there. Put that back in. Put the trunk back in with the mounts made. Crawl underneath. And make sure everything's lined up. Then attach them with probably screws for the moment. Just snowballing, just thinking ahead. See you in a minute. Did a little work off camera, working on the top of our little bracket. So I got that cut out, got that shape looking good, I think. Let me put some lines on there, otherwise I won't know where it needs to go. It's somewhat straight. Okay, somewhat. Yeah, try to draw a straight line. All right, so that's the way it looks from there. Now, I've cut, as you can see, this little piece, which will, I did that by freehand. Got very lucky with that, I think. Anyway, cut that like so. Yeah, maybe I need to put that a little, cut it a little long, maybe. I didn't cut it long. I need to cut it long, that's what I'm saying. This is worse. But I traced a line that had a little curve to it. So, came back, cut one that was a little straighter. Now what we're gonna do, slap a little piece of tape on it. Put this away. See if that will fit. I'm sure it will. We'll make her fit, right? Make it fit. Alright, so that's looking like something. Looks a little bit like something. Tried to make my line as straight as possible with that, you know, the tub. Not that you're gonna be able to tell or see. I mean, if it was cocked like this, you could. Just, you know, doing everything by eye. My eyes are a little crooked. So, all right, we got that piece going. Now what we need is a lip. Wow. Well, you used the wrong piece of cardboard or what? Oh, I cut it on the wrong end. Damn it, man. Right. So the interesting thing, we make that all in one piece? Probably not, because this is 1/8 inch right here. I'll be hell bending that and getting my sizes right. All right, I'm gonna make this little piece. You got a nice straight corner right there. Look at that. Nice straight corner to pull off of. We think. We assume. If not, we'll grind it. So we're gonna get prepped up and ready to cut that bad boy out, I guess. Be right back. And when it works great. There's one. We're gonna need another one. Okay, now the next thing is I'm going to cut some more pieces, so you don't need to watch that, and be back. Back. Okay, pieces are cut. Got these two little pieces bent. La la la. Well, close. I don't know which one's what, but anyway, they're close. And they go right here on this. See? So it's pretty much right on the money. This one, not so much. Feels better. You saw that moved, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I deburred them, I clamped them together, ground them to size, all that good stuff, made sure they fit my little patterns as close as they possibly could. See? Yeah. Something like that. So, this and this will get tacked together, and yeah, my size is not absolutely perfect, and the way that I will fix that is grind it off. See? Or I'll just split the difference and grind it off. Not a big deal in my book, because you won't see it anyway because it's up underneath the package tray. So that goes there, and that goes something like that. Anyway, you get the idea. So, get the welder out, which is right over there, and we can get it set up. Love that little plasma cutter when it works. The thing is, I noticed, well, that one's a little burr. You can just go straight, nice line, because if you sit there and try to follow the line, you do this. At least, you know, I do. So, be right back. Boy, isn't that slicker than snake doo-doo or something. Ah, shit. It's slicker than snake shit right there. Boy, that's holding together. Now, if I don't move it. No, that's not 1/8. That's 16. Holy cow. Hope it's going to be strong enough. We'll make it strong. Now that's not a 90, so got to figure that out. Be back in a minute. So I don't know if anybody noticed. I gotta put that one together. I built it backwards, and so I had to take it apart, build it again, and it didn't fit on that side because it was backwards. Anyway. Ta-da! That's the idea of it. You know, when it goes from paper to metal, things are different. When I say different, I mean different. paper bends, metal doesn't, and see this little dupe right here. This is at a 90, and that's not fitting. This is kind of down at an angle. Don't like that. So I may have to come back and trim off some of this to make that fit better. I'll be back. Alright, well, after putting the pieces back together the way they're supposed to be, I had to take them back apart because of, like I said, that piece didn't fit right. I'm gonna tack this baby in place, hopefully, I think. Figure out where I want it. I think that's where I want it. Holding your hand like that and sparks flying, that feels good. You know you're doing it right. Alright, so we have a tack on there. That's what we want. I don't know. Alright, I'm going to cut that off. I'll be back. Okay, well, I cut it off. And, you know, there it is. I've got to come underneath here, clean this off, put some weldable primer. I got to drill holes through that. So before I tack it, I guess I'll do that. So we'll see you in a minute. Well, that's hot. Hot. Cool that off. See you in a minute. Actually, I'm not going to weld it. And I don't know why I got in such a hurry to do this part. Just get to thinking and forget what you're doing, I guess. I don't know. Because I'm not welding it to here yet. I'm just going to tack that in place. Then I'm actually going to screw it in place. But you get the idea. So, missed that one. Gotta fix that. Deal with it. Thing of beauty, isn't it? Now we build that side and then build that side. We've got this side welded on. we've got that side welded on. Currently we got to make these brackets. We got to trim this off. That'll be fun. I actually was able to pick the deck lid up. Of course they sag down because there's nothing holding it but a couple Clecos. So now, and whenever you do something, because something's gonna sag, you gotta make sure you prop things up a little higher than where you want it. So now we're cutting out this piece, and then we flip it around and cut out the other piece, which is right and left. Get it straight. So let's do some cutting. All right, I'll get the grinder out, clean up some stuff. And deslag. Be right back. All right, well, as you can see, we took the head off. It don't look pretty, but hopefully they'll work. Anyway, I've got to cut along here, here, and here, and around here. Keep a cutting, cleaning, grinding. See you in a minute. All right, so welding on the little bump stops now. That would be this little doohickey. The hinge comes up and hits it so it doesn't fly up over the back of the car. You know, that can happen. Okay, a couple little good welds, and I think that'll be good. Let's see. It's for this side here, and that will fit like. Come on, get in there. It's hard to do with one hand. You know what I mean? Anyway, fits in there, and then you see the little bump stop. Anyway, we're getting there. Progress. Okay, well, those are all welded on, and we've cleaned them up as best we can. That's probably the better one. And yeah, it is. That's kind of ugly. But I don't care about that back corner because I don't think you're going to see it. But this looks all right. And now I'm going to try to do something here. Just maybe a dimple. Just to add a little character to it. Hopefully we don't ruin it. Be right back. Okay, I found center this way. Center this way, because of this, I don't want it centered. Maybe centered, okay, that's 5.5, so 2 3/4. So yeah, we're pretty close. So we're gonna go with that, and drill our pilot hole. I clamped them both together so we'll be in the same area. And you've seen this before, so I'm not going to make you watch it. Be right back. Okay, our holes are punched. Now let's go do this part again. See what happens. It'll be okay. I didn't, I thought maybe going larger with the dimple, but this will be fine. I'll just add a little strength to it. It won't flex as much. And I gotta make sure that I do this the right direction. Okay, we've got the right direction. We hope. So I'll just pump away here. It's one. Cute, isn't it? Just, little something. Little something. And make sure it goes there. It goes there. That goes there. And yeah, pushes it down. All right. Making sure. Don't know if you remember, but when I first had these, I was hitting them with a hammer when I was building my console. And although it worked, didn't work very well. They weren't even. And when I say even, that even, as far as being through the way they're supposed to be. You can't get even pressure when you're smacking that. It's just doesn't work well. So that little press is awesome. So we've got that little doohickey there, and this goes on this side, like so. So like I said, it's not just for a little look, it's to help strengthen this little panel even more. So now we're going to be welding those in place. So I got to get set up for that. See you in a minute. All right. Well, that's not holding itself in thin air, but there's a little magnet back there. It's very fragile. So if I bump this thing, it'll probably fall off. But let's try to get a tack on here somewhere, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where, because I don't know that I'm straight up and down at a 90 if I need to be at a 90. But we're going to do something. Take the magnet out. it will swing. Oh, look. Look at my dimple. Look how close that comes. And as far as movement, all the way in, it hits. So let's check our, a little off. So let's get our little squaring angle carpenter square thing. And, well, that's not probably the best. Actually, it swings on that hinge nice. Keeps me, no matter where this ends up, keeps me cleared of that. Hits the stop. This, which it's got to be on to fit because it's going to go in like so. Okay. Like so. And then, of course, you know, that goes on. I can show you. I know you know, but I'm going to show you anyway. So, that goes on like that. And then that will be what welds, this will be what welds to the tub. This may have to be cut down still, I don't know. So we're gonna find out. You know, see you in a minute. So we've got the deck lid on. Hopefully back in the position we had it in. And everything looks good down there. We even took our little template and put it on and see where we are. Well, because I guess cardboard flexes, we put it on and we had it on, you know, before. Our bend comes right in there where it's supposed to, okay? But it's not touching our inner wheel well, our tub. And that bend would be this piece that would go there. I cannot bend this in that way anymore because it will hit the arm on the hinge. And that one? No, this is the one that's the worst. I couldn't make a 90 out of it because of the way that the hinge was welded onto the deck lid. It wasn't swinging quite the same. So we've got a little bigger gap right there than we do on that side. And I mean, I'm like 1/8 of an inch away. I don't know if you can see in there, but from that right there. So we have a little dilemma. Plus, I'm looking at, I don't like it coming in at a straight 90 like that. I was trying to see if I could cut it off some to get a light because I can't even see. Everything's being a little difficult. So anyhow, just trying to see if I could. Oh, that's like right there. It's gonna rub That's with the trunk open a little. Trying to see if I could not do a 90, but do more of an angle. So I would have to cut it underneath here to get more of an angle, but then I was thinking, well, I could round it maybe, which would give it more strength. Wouldn't flex as much. You know what I mean? So round it like so, or angle it, or something, you know, like right there. You know, angle it up from there to there. If I round it, I mean, yeah, I can make it happen. And I'd have to cut some special piece. For this, that's going to weld onto the side of the onto the side of the tub. It would have to be curved as well. This, oh, that would be, if I angled it, whew, boy, that would be, if I did it that way, I could bend it. I could bend it like so. Okay, I got to think about that one. See you in a minute. Okay, back again. So, I left you trying to decide how to cut the bracket. So I went and ate lunch, came back, and came up with that. Right there, as you can see it. Well, there you can see the arm, I think, yeah. So that would come up right underneath that arm right there. The arm goes up from there, so it's not like it swings out and gets lower. The other thing that the bar that's going to come back through here has to come down into this area as well. So, and that's right behind the driver's seat. So that's up into where roughly that center bracket is, up there. Angle down through here, and then it'll make a dump. So I need as much room right there as I can get. I still have this option to cut this straight off and then round it. How would that look? How would that look? Straight down and then rounded. I don't know. Either way is fine. Which is easier? Doesn't really matter. It's curved. But just taking them back out, cutting them, sticking it back on, figuring out my measurements, from here to here, which I can take that now, most likely, before I remove it, so then I can make the bracket. Oh, well, see, I was trying to make this easy. You know, I wanted the bracket to angle down. So if I wasn't perfect, you know, the angle of it I could change to make it just fit. You know, this, it's getting all precise and stuff, and you know, we all know that doesn't work. So again, got to do some more figuring. Be back. Okay, decision has been made, and we're gonna cut it like that, with that arch in it. It's getting heavier. All right. So I got my pieces cut. I cut them for the widest one, which is this one. That's 3 1/8. Now I gotta bend these bad boys right on around there. So, how am I gonna bend this radius? I'm going to try this right here. Oh boy. Oh, voila. How about that? See how close we are. We are not close at all. It's okay. Another bolt in here. Whoa. I think that'll do it right there. That will do it. All right. They're banging. They're the same. Same as, I'm gonna get it. Okay. Over here, to fit it, we gotta make sure we put the right one on the right side. And did it wrong already. So, 2 7/8 goes here. And it goes this way. And see, that radius isn't quite the same. That's okay. Nothing else, we can weld that up. You know, I try to make things perfect. I really do. See? It's not a 90, but it's really close. And that's not either. But, you know, when you weld something, it warps. It moves, it turns, it twists. So after you're done with it, then you got to straighten it. Well, yeah, straighten the curve. Bend that curve out. You know, the reason we made the arch is for strength. Well, it's got strength. And that 90, that little bit that's off, is not going to hurt me. Now I got to make a tab, a 1-inch tab, boop, all the way around that, and hope it fits. See you in a bit. All right, well, they're on there and they work. That's where they came to when the stick lid was closed. So that is perfect. Perfecto. Not perfecto. I was checking that, and see, that's my line, and we are hitting too soon. I don't know. So I gotta fix that. You know, gotta fix it. All right, well, I've got a piece made. And we're gonna weld her in. Real quick like. Somewhere. Okay, I did most of my grinding with that grinder, but doesn't look like it was messed up. Couple little pits, nothing we're gonna worry about, because I just knocked those welds down a little bit, just for the heck of it. Guess just I need to do those, just to smooth them off. Yeah, because there's some big boogers on there. So, all right. And good penetration, so it looks all pretty much normal. And then we can drop her back in. See how messed up it is. All right, well, today we're gonna make our lip. So what I did was, right side, yeah, that's it. Anyway, made a template, traced that. We're gonna cut all we're looking for is the curve. And I made a left curve. So we're gonna cut that out. We're gonna trace it onto here, and then we're gonna measure out 1 inch away from it. We're gonna measure out 1 inch away from it, and not in, but out from it. So that would be, you know, just so we're all on the same page, and I'm on the same page because I can't get my shit straight. Out here somewhere. Didn't mark that, but that's okay. Will be golden. So we can just move this wherever we think. So close. Well, we know that those are not a perfect radius. So I think that's close enough. What do you think? It's roughly an inch. Looks like that's an inch. We'll cut this bad boy out. The other side. What side was this? This was right. Because we have to do it this way. We can't make duplicates exactly the same because, you know, our other one is not the same. Now we'll make our second one, and then we'll get out the old plasma cutter again, and we'll cut these bad boys out. See you in a minute. A little straighter line than the plasma cutter, and I'm grinding either way, so get this one cut out. All right, holes drilled, ground, prepped, whatever. And I was gonna wait to tack it on in the car, but I think I'm gonna tack it on here, and I'm just gonna tack the end. So if I need to bend it a little bit, I can bend it, I think, and then tack it. Because holding that in there upside down, or however I end up doing it, is going to be a little difficult. So the old clamp on. Alright, gonna have to grind this smooth. I see that already. I'll get the other one tacked. We'll get this thing put on and see what we need to do here. Well, I heard paint scraping. Okay, well, let's get our clecos in. See where we are. Screw it down. This is what we're looking at. That's up a little. I mean, it's not much, but it's that much. And actually, if I push this in, it's almost right there. So if I tacked it in the middle, that would be good, right there. Because this piece doesn't want to go right up against here. I'm glad I used 18 gauge sheet metal for my tubs. This one's, it's about the same. I don't know if you can see down in the gap. Down in there. A little bit of daylight, but not much. Not much. And dude, run a screw on that. Get that flat, get a tack. We may be good. We may be good. We may be good. Okay. Let me get a sheet metal screw. Attempt that. All right. Gonna figure out how to get a sheet metal screw in at the bottom. Screw it to this. And get a tack in the middle, maybe a couple places. And it'll be in there. You know what I mean? Kinda, sorta in there. All right, be back in a minute. Well, that went surprisingly well. Back spasms will go away in a minute. Anyway, I've got two screws in. I got the tabs spot welded. And man, that's just terrible. I have adjustment on my trunk lid, but I mean, you know, what are you supposed to do? That's just an ugly angle. I mean, you know, why they go like this and like this? It's just ugly. It needs to come around like so. We can make it look any way we want. So, let's see. I guess I'm gonna attempt to just open it. And see where we are. I can't do anything on the inside. Voila, it opens. Yeah. All right, well, now, got to take this panel back out and mark the top portion, put some screws in it or something so it'll stay that way. I'll be back. Okay, well, we got that panel out. Reason that I took it off is to put something in, a couple screws in here to hold this in place temporarily. Because what happens is, and I took measurements before I took the panel off. And we gotta go through all that again. Okay, that's good. That's better now. I took measurements from the edge of the panel Actually drew a line right here and then I put the tape on it. To the edge of this tape. To make sure that this is in the right place before I put a screw in here to hold it down or to weld it. Either way, because you know, the screws I can move, but just in case I want to do the screws, just in case I want to change something. But we know if I turn this a little bit, this moves back and forth. Weird, huh? Watch. Anyway, it's not moving as much as it was because the bottom is screwed in. But I'm going to check all my measurements and put a couple screws in somewhere. See, all my Cleco holes aren't there anymore because things have changed since I put screws in that side. And I have to take that off because I still have to weld the bracket on the back side. Yeah. Well, I have 2 screws in. This side did okay. This side wanted to be a pain in the ass. And that's about a 1/16 of a difference. Yes, I have adjustment in the hinges. The hinge bolt, I can move that. But we all know what happens when we move things like this. They get out of square. I don't know, you know, not really any different moving that and moving this, so, or the hinge, I guess. So let's see how she opens since it's all bolted down. I'm sure I have to adjust the striker because it's grabbing. Voila, there's my stops. One hits before the other, of course, but you know, at least one of them works. That's quite a bit, actually. All right, well, we're going to problem is, well, I don't know where it wants to go now. Basically, the edge of the striker right there is dragging. I'm not sure why there's a lip. It's dragging right there. I was gonna try to just bend it in with a little hammer adjustment, but it doesn't want to do that. So try something else, like pliers, or grind that edge off. One or the other. Be right back. takes care of that. But we'll fine tune that on another day. Okay, these are pretty, well, they're as solid as they're gonna get. I mean, you know, I can shake the whole car. I really wanted to. All right, now got to remove my bolts and weld up the bottom lip, clean things up, epoxy the whole assembly. But they work. Try this again. There they are. Like I said, you're not even going to see them. That one looks, you know, nice and squarish. This one, not so much. But, hey, what are you going to do? Like I said, that one hits before that one, which, you know, I can cut that one off and slide it down some if I want to. Or add something to it, probably be easier. Okay. Well, I think I'm gonna end. I mean, we gotta weld, like I said, clean everything up and then weld, and you don't need to see that. Weld them in place. They work. They're bolted in. And I think I'm gonna end this video because it's getting quite long. Just kidding. So yeah, I got her all stripped down. I did some sandblasting. That's some epoxy on there. And I'm waiting to put on the second coat. But looks all right. It'll make it, I think. Grinding marks and some other stuff. The gun's putting it out too heavy, which causes that. So we will see you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.